Hi, Bolor, Daphne here. Sorry for the delay in getting this correction back to you. And thank you for telling me your exam date, 24th. You've got about a week or so to go, a little bit more. And also your worries on how long it's taking you. Okay, so this is something that we need to have a little look at. And let me see how I can help you. If we can just think of some ways to maybe cut the length. You don't have to write so much. Um, Let's just think about how you plan. So you get a title like this. Some people think employees should stay in the same job for the rest of their lives. Others think they should switch. So immediately, hopefully, you're just getting a piece of paper and just writing down some ideas. What are the benefits of staying with the same company forever? People used to do this more than they do now. That's maybe something to bring up. And then why do people change a lot? Well, you can get promoted. You might have more financial reward. So just write down a few little things before you start. And then, okay, let's go. Psychologists and scientists specialized in workforce throughout the developing and developed world have debated whether people should keep employing at one place until retired or consider changing jobs. Really good. Now, I know this is the template, okay, but I think you can play with this a little bit. I don't think you need it all now because you know where you're going. You've got your own voice. Specialized in workforce practice, I think you need here, globally. Just use that word instead. It's quicker. I've debated whether people should keep employment or keep being employed. This is quite nice. Keep being employed because that's a passive. So if you go keep being employed, that's quite nice. Should keep employing, it doesn't work. You could have to keep employment as a noun at one place until retired or considering changing jobs. Good. Possessive opinion. Don't forget, you've got to have your opinion. So very, very important. To what extent you agree, you need to give me your opinion right now in the intro, and then again later. Okay? At the end. Some experts believe that once employed, graduates should keep working until reaching the age legally allowed to work. Graduates? Don't you mean legally allowed to stop work? Yeah, I think you just want that word there. The central reason behind this is twofold. So, again, in my opinion, you can have this, but you don't have to have this. If you've got more things you want to say, or if this is taking too much time, you don't need it now. Carry on with this. Firstly, it might be thought that work experience or how well you become specialized in the job could only depend on the years of continuing. You have to go continuously holding that position. Well done. This is really nice. This has to be an adverb, just on the grammar, to go with this verb, continuously holding, or continue to hold that position. But this is lovely. Secondly, as long as you work, it may be easier to pursue the career ladder up in the organization. Okay, good. You could get that into a conditional. Okay. Secondly, if employed for longer, it may be easier. So I would swap possibly this. If employed for longer, it may be easier. I'd swap that for that. Yeah, yours is not wrong. Don't worry. But I don't really like you or we or they in an essay, so I always try and avoid it just stylistically. So if employed for longer, it may be easier to pursue the career ladder. For me, this is more academic writing. For example, an empirical study demonstrated that 10% of their graduates were working in the same organization since their first year of employment and now hold higher positions in that workplace. Now, be very careful, grammar here. Since, if we use this word since, it is an indicator of unfinished time. Therefore, you have to have the present perfect. So you'd have to say, have been working. Okay? So watch out with since we pretty much always need the present perfect. So the present perfect continuous, have been working since their first year of employment, and now they are holding is okay, I just go present tense, they hold higher positions in that workplace. Good. Therefore it's clear. There's a case in favour of, so continue working, why don't you just use remaining, because you've used that before. So remaining. Loyal, you could have, nice adjective, remaining loyal at the same workplace to prove one's abilities. Really good. Now, don't repeat this, because you've already said that once. Don't say it twice. In order to gain promotion, another way of saying it. Yeah? So I would say gain promotion or keep employment. Yeah, or I would say access financial rewards. Okay? Just a bit more vocab there. Try not to repeat yourself. But otherwise, very good paragraph. Really, really nice. Very clear. Good coherence in that. It's really nice. Although there's a case supporting employment at one place for the entire life for different reasons, there's ample evidence that supports the idea of changing. Really good. Supports the idea that. No, okay. If you have of here, changing workplaces, drastically reducing. If you have of, you've got to have the ing here as well. Please don't ask me why, because actually at the moment I cannot remember the reason. So just go that. Supports the idea that changing workplaces drastically reduces, because you've got a new clause in here. With the that, it makes a new clause. So changing workplace becomes your subject. Reduces work-related stresses, significantly increases number of friend colleagues and masters new skills. So that's that. Excellent. Really, really lovely. Perfect sentence. That's brilliant. For instance, recent survey results show that if people continue working at, okay, rather, we've got continue working an awful lot here. So why don't we just change this around? If people are, you've got nice conditional here, are constantly exposed to stress, are constantly exposed to stress due to the work volume or other workmates. So people, plural, are likely to arise to... Oh, so health issues arise. The people don't arise to encounter. So are you happy on that? So health issues arise, but the people would encounter. That's like come across health issues. Consequently, changing workplace could bring, don't use way, significantly more health benefits for people's life than pursuing the career ladder. Pursuing, let's change that again, management positions. Okay, just be really, really careful. Don't repeat yourself. But again, really nice paragraph. That's fantastic. Good work there. To conclude, I firmly believe, good here, that if job stresses you up to inform, if job stresses could cause mental or other issues, move this around. Changing that job. Oh, hang on. Move the subject to here. Changing that job has to be considered as soon as possible rather than keeping it. Okay, so put this as a subject. Changing that job has to be considered. But again, that would be a very good conclusion. Well done. So how long does it take you to do this? When do you get to 40 minutes? Next time, write me in here, for example. 40 minutes. For example. So we know how far you're getting in that time. Okay, but that is a really neat essay, so it would be very nice if you could produce something like that. It would be fantastic. Crop production here. So you've got enough words on this. This is good. And can you do this in 15 minutes maybe? Get yourself lots and lots of practice doing these. There's lots online. Have a look on the website. If you go on the Daily Chart website or the Economist website, you can find lots of these as well. And just get used to the pattern. So the pie chart illustrates the amount of producing crops in France. Get overall the most proportion. Have to go the highest proportion, not most. The highest proportion of produced crops in France was you'd have to you don't need both those, just go one of them. The highest proportion was were highest proportions, then you'd have to have plural, were cotton and sugar, which together consisted over half the. Another word you could use is harvest. Yeah, because we don't want to keep on producing production. Quite a good word. Were the percentage of rice? Yeah, were the least. Good. The biggest amount. So big is not a very sort of academic word. Let's go the greatest. Amount harvested was cotton, followed by sugar, which was less than 10%. Less than 10%, and then wheat and barley with 20 and 80 respectively. Okay. The production of wheat and barley were very close to each other. Good, differing by only 1.5. Really good. Instead of close, I'd use the word similar. The difference between the amount of processed sugar and wheat was also the same. Okay. Now, these four cereals accounted for almost 80% of total goods. Something like that. Link this together. Okay? You don't necessarily need to give every single number. You could say barley and wheat at around 20%. And then you don't need that number. So you don't need to have all the numbers, because otherwise it's just too heavy. But this is quite important to group here. The smallest percentage was corn, which was, so past tense there, watch out, 20 times less than the biggest crop. Surprisingly good. The amount of rice. Now, not surprisingly, because that's your comment. Now, it might be totally normal, so don't put any personal comment in here. Just go, the amount of rice processed was the second smallest. Tiniest is lovely, but we don't really use it in writing. With 10 times less than cotton. Well done. Really, really good. I like how you've kind of done those links in that final section. That's a really good answer. Well done.